House Speaker Martin Romualdez shuns moves to quote destabilize the leadership in the lower chamber. Over 300 cadets of the Madasigon class of 2023 graduate from the Philippine Military Academy. And China slams G7 leaders over accusations of militarization and economic coercion. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Riza Diaz. We begin the newscast with House Speaker Martin Romualdez breaking his silence amid rumors of an ouster plot against him. In a statement, Romualdez said moves to destabilize the leadership of the House of Representatives should be thwarted as early as now. He added that he would rather have the lower chamber focus on more urgent matters rather than engaging in politicking. The presidential cousin also made a reference to the administration's tandem name, Uniteam, which he said the House has always been a part of. Former President and now Pampanga Representative Gloria Macapagal Arroyo earlier doused allegations that she was planning to oust Romualdez. This came after Arroyo's demotion as House Senior Deputy Speaker and the resignation of Vice President Sara Duterte from Romualdez's party. President Bongbong Marcos downplayed these developments, saying that the changes are not politically motivated. Meanwhile, President Bongbong Marcos led the graduation rites of the Philippine Military Academy's Madasigon class of 2023. Marcos Jr. presented diplomas and awards to 310 graduating cadets at the 4th General Gregorio del Pilar in Baguio City. The Madasigon class of 2023 is composed of 238 males and 72 females. Around half of the new soldiers will be deployed in the Army, while the rest will head to Air Force and the Navy. Batangas cadet Warren Leonor emerged as this year's class valedictorian. Marcos Jr. told the graduates to work for unity and respect the democratic ideals and the rule of law. The House Committee on Ethics may file more sanctions against suspended Congressman Arnie Teves. In a radio interview, panel chairperson Congressman Raul Angelo Bongalon said this would be discussed in their meeting on May 23, a day after Teves's 60-day suspension lapses. Bongalon noted that there are 2 remaining sanctions left that could be filed against the lawmaker. These are expulsion and, quote, any penalty the committee may determine. The suspension of Teves stemmed from his refusal to return to the Philippines, citing fear for his life. He is facing multiple charges over the death of Governor Roel Degamo. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. China hits back at the Group of Seven over the latter's joint statement during this year's summit in Hiroshima, Japan. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said the G7 had attacked China and interfered in its internal affairs. The country also urged the group to stop pointing fingers at China and instead take a look at their own records. The G7 earlier warned against China's militarization in the South China Sea and criticized its move against Taiwan. It also expressed concerns over Beijing's quote, economic coercions. In weather, Pagasa says the tropical storm outside the Philippine territory has yet to directly affect any part of the country. Speaking to us earlier here on One News, Pagasa weather specialist Veronica Torres said the western part of the country should just be prepared for possible rains and thunderstorms. Torres added that more rainfall could be expected should the tropical storm enhance the southwest monsoon. For now, Pagasa is monitoring the movement of the cyclone as it could likely enter the boundaries of the Philippine area of responsibility by next weekend.
As of now, this is still a tropical storm. So maybe in the next 24 hours, this will maybe enhance to typhoon category in the next 24 hours. And then in the next 2 to 3 days, it might have rapid intensification and it may become a super typhoon.
Demand for air conditioners continue to rise or increase in India, and so does the risk of global warming. Let's watch this.
India's summer heat is brutal and getting even worse. In 2022 alone, India recorded 203 days of heatwave conditions, 5 times more than the year before. When temperatures hit 122 degrees Fahrenheit, the conditions make it almost impossible for the human body to cool itself. As a result, hundreds of people died. But as India's economy grows, more people can afford to buy a life-saving appliance, an air conditioner.
मैंने अपने बच्चे की तरफ ध्यान दिया, इसलिए एसी खरीदा और नेक्स्ट उसका फ्यूचर ये है कि उसका ठंडी कूलिंग से काफ़ी उसको राहत मिली, उसको कभी कोई परेशानी नहीं हुई, जब से उसको लगाया कभी बीमार भी नहीं हुआ.
PU is still in the minority. More than 1 billion people in India don't yet own an AC. The country's per capita GDP will top $9,000 this year for the first time, nearing the threshold where economists say AC sales jump. Using air conditioning improves sleep quality and cognitive performance, making people and countries wealthier.
काफ़ी मतलब टेम्परेचर में क्या है कि हमारे और भी 3 कमरे हैं, वो बहुत गर्म है.
But the growing reliance on air conditioners could also worsen the climate crisis it's responding to. The cooling industry is growing fastest in countries that still rely heavily on coal-fired power, and where most people can only afford cheaper, less energy-efficient units.
मैंने अपना काफ़ी खर्चा बंद कर दिया उसके लिए. हमने जैसे हम रोटी खाते थे तो चावल बंद कर दिया, अगर हम चावल खाते थे तो हमने रोटी बंद कर दिया था. इसलिए हमने और फिर काफ़ी कुछ हमने सेक्रीफाइस की. जैसे हम लोग नॉनवेज खाना चाहते थे तो नॉनवेज खाना बंद कर दिया, हमने वेजेस खाना शुरू कर दिया. और मैंने कहीं घर में काम पकड़ा ताकि उसकी हमने सब कुछ कर पाए.
Coolants also pose a problem. One of the most common is hydrofluorocarbons. They're known for being an extremely potent greenhouse gas with a damaging effect on global warming. 170 countries have pledged to ban HFCs, but the alternatives are expensive. So cooling companies are hunting for cost-effective alternatives. For a lot of AC owners like PU, there's no going back.
एसी की वजह से हमारे पास बैठने लगे, टाइम देने लगे, हमारे पास कितनी लड़ाई झगड़े थे, सब हमने खत्म करके यहाँ पे.
And those are the top stories of the hour. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.